WrestlePod is supported by viewers like you. To support WrestlePod and the other programs on this channel, visit patreon.com/Ian Beaumont live and direct. NXT Takeover has just happened. I've got reactions for you right now on WrestlePod. From Ian Beaumont live and direct, this is WrestlePod. Welcome along. It is Ian Beaumont here. Finally recovered from watching NXT Takeover Brooklyn 4. What an event that was. And somewhat of a return to form for the takeovers because last one in June wasn't quite so good as we've had for a while, and then boom, back to form today. Let's talk about what happened. Starting off with the NXT Tag Team Championships. Undisputed Era defending against Mustache Mountain. Boy, what can I say? This was high pace, high octane, high impact from the get-go. Really surprised me just how much they put into that match. That match ran about 18 minutes, and they fitted in like so much. Really surprised me. Really surprised me how much they fitted into that match. They even sort of referenced the spot from the last time these two faced each other, where Tyler Bate had to throw in the towel for Trent Seven because he was caught in an absolutely horrible submission. Trent almost did the same thing here for Tyler, but Tyler kind of, faded him off, said, no, don't throw in the towel, don't throw in the towel. And then Trent threw the towel away. That was excellent. I love that moment. Really, really good match overall. You had Tyler Bate perform a Tyler Driver. Trent Seven hit 7 Stars Lariat. Neither were able to get the 3 count. Then a diving knee drop burning hammer combination from both men. Still wasn't able to get the 3 count. But O'Reilly and Strong come through with a total elimination and pick up the 3 for the win here. I'm really surprised how well this came across. Not surprised that this result happened. I did predict this one. So very good. One of the guys, I think it was at Coldaholic, called it a 5-star match. I wouldn't go quite that far, but 4.5 definitely. Next up, EC3 Velveteen Dream. Man, this had a hard task. It did pretty well. It did pretty well for itself. I honestly thought EC3 was going to pick up the victory because he's lost a lot, and Velveteen Dream has lost a lot as well, but you always feel he bounces back better from a loss. EC3 at the moment is being made to look a little bit of a champ. And I don't think that's right. I think we're gonna flip on him. He has got to be... we got to start seeing some victories from EC3 if we're going to get him properly over. I mean, he's over, but the matches just at the moment, I don't know that he's actually if he's actually, you know, I think he's over with the NXT crowd based upon what he used to do in TNA Impact. I don't think anything in what he's done recently in NXT has him over. He's over because he's familiar. That's all. About a 15-minute match, this one, and it's rather surprisingly in my book, Velveteen Dream did pick up the win. A cartwheel, a rolling Death Valley driver, which he calls the Dream Valley driver, done on the ring apron and then a purple Rainmaker as well, to pick up the win. A little surprised, very surprised, that Velveteen Dream picked up the win. But I'm not unhappy with the booking or anything like that. No, that was well booked. EC3 didn't look too bad in defeat here. But you got to be careful about having him lose too much. I think we've got to see him kick it up a notch and start winning some matches. Adam Cole defended the North American Championship against Ricochet. I pretty much called this one from the get-go. It was another about 15-minute match. And these early matches were all good length as well. I didn't feel that anything at this point was... I didn't feel anything was too long. Even the longest match of the night didn't feel too long. It was perfectly put together. So, really impressed with that. Amazing moves and amazing storytelling here from Adam Cole. The story was that he had Ricochet like completely scouted, and it was told awesomely through all the various what are they called? All the various moves. How when he goes to set up for a 630, rolls out the way, goes to do a handspring, back elbow, or whatever. No, Adam Cole counters that. Adam Cole had counters for everything. He planned this beautifully. Wasn't enough, though. Ricochet wins with a Hurricanrana off the ring apron to Cole. And then a 630 sent on to win the title. So your new NXT North American Champion is Ricochet. Shayna Baszler, Kairi Sane for the NXT Women's Championship. This is about the only match on the card I actually had no heat for. In that sense, I'm getting more impressed with Shayna Baszler, but I still think she's a long way off being a good wrestler yet. But certainly Kairi Sane brought her to a much better level in this match. You gotta say, the story was all about Shayna Baszler trying to overcome the fact that she lost to Kairi Sane at last year's Mae Young Classic. The story here was all about that and how much Shayna Baszler was going to do to defeat Kairi Sane. No matter what she did, it wasn't enough. Because the match ended. Baszler puts Sane in a Killer Thunder clutch. But Sane counters, kind of bridges over, pins Baszler's shoulders to the mat, and gets the 3 count. So, because Baszler would not let go of the hold. So, that's the second time, because I think if I remember correctly, Ember Moon did that to her a while ago. So yeah, that's getting to be a known weakness. If she goes for a hold, if you can pin her shoulders to the mat, you're gonna get the 3 count because she won't let go. She's gonna have to learn to let go. Yeah. So yeah, Kairi Sane's your new NXT Women's Champion. Main event time. Based upon what I've heard, this wasn't meant to go down this way. Triple H actually said on a conference call afterwards that the match changed as a result of an injury that it looks like Johnny Gargano actually suffered during the match. Well, I'll explain why in a minute, but it was Tommaso Ciampa defending the NXT Championship against Johnny Gargano. And, oh boy, this was over 30 minutes of action, and it was brutal. It was intense. It was like, turn the intensity up to 11. It was, you couldn't take your eyes off it, even as much as it at times felt a bit like car crash. You really couldn't take your eyes off it at all. One of the early spots, Tommaso Ciampa actually does an air raid crash to Johnny Gargano through the Spanish announce table, and on WWE Trope Bingo, that's a tick. Yep. So, yeah, Spanish announce table gets destroyed, tick. There's always, like, a load of those tropes, but yeah, that one came into play again last night. Gargano managed to stand up, though, at the count of 9. So, props on that one. Very much, as we got further and further into the match, both men seemed to get more and more desperate to just hit the big moves. Gargano in the early going had been trying to batter Ciampa down. Once we got through that early stage, it then became like high impact move, high impact move, high impact move, all the way. And you had Gargano set up 2 tables, one properly, and the other one inverted, so that the legs were sticking up in the air. That looked, ooh, that could have been brutal. Wasn't, as it turned out. It was just like a normal table spot, but if they'd actually tried to hit, if he'd actually tried to hit the legs, oh, that would have looked brutal. Yeah, and then Ciampa as well kind of tore up the ring again. That almost came back to bite Ciampa as later on in the match, Gargano hits a DDT onto the exposed wood. And I honestly thought that was going to be it. That was going to be match over. It wasn't, but I did think that was going to be it. That was going to be the moment. Last bit of the match, you have Gargano pulling Ciampa all the way up, throws him into the screen, just like Ciampa did to him at NXT Takeover Chicago over a year ago now. Applied the Gargano escape. Didn't matter. It's not. There's no submissions, but it was like, you know, Ciampa was trying to tap out. Doesn't count. It's just inflicting more pain than punishment. Finally, Ciampa brought some handcuffs into play, but Gargano had actually managed to handcuff his right hand, Ciampa's right hand, and then he attached the other cuff to one of the to a bit of framework around the set, up on the ramp on the stage. Performed many super kicks, and then finally decided, you know what, I'm going to go for this. Pulls down the knee protection, goes for a running knee, but in doing so, and this is where I think the injury happened, he goes straight in, he runs his knee straight into a crate in the production area. Oh, it looked horrible. Gargano couldn't get up. Ciampa just about rolled off to retain his title. And yeah, I get the impression that actually wasn't meant to be the finish, but Gargano couldn't get up, couldn't continue. So it looks like Gargano is out with a knee injury. It was said on the night it was a dislocation. That was the first impressions they were getting. I don't know how true that is. It may well be a dislocated knee, in which case relocation is relatively simple, but still quite painful, and you'll need to take a couple of months or maybe a bit more off to recuperate. But yeah, a little surprising. Didn't call it, but then I don't think they did in the arena either. That was a little bit, you know, so yeah, I can't say I was disappointed with the match. I can say I was a little disappointed with the ending, only because it didn't look like it was going to be the end. And certainly from what Triple H said on the conference call, I don't think that was intended to be the end of the match. So, or if it wasn't meant to play like that, and Ciampa had to literally roll off instead of Gargano getting up. So, there you go. That's what I think. So, overall, I think I have to give Takeover, I'm gonna say a B+. It's borderline on an A-, but it's like 2 matches were weaker than the other 3. That was EC's 3 Velveteen Dream and Baszler Sane. The rest were great, but I just don't quite feel that they had quite enough in them to just about bring it into the A level. It's so borderline, like a, you know what, I'm gonna go B double plus. I don't normally do that, but it's slightly better than a B plus, but I can't quite put it an A minus, so I'm gonna say a B double plus. I think that's fair. Because it was hellaciously good. Just a shame, in my view, that two matches kind of weren't up. The other two matches weren't up to the other three. But that's my thoughts on NXT Takeover Brooklyn 4. What did you think? Drop something down in the comments, and I'd love to find out what your thoughts are. Like, share, subscribe, support me on Patreon, patreon.com/Ian Beaumont Live and Direct, and like me on Facebook, facebook.com/WrestlePod IBLND. I'm going to review SummerSlam, and that's coming up either tomorrow or Tuesday, depending on how I feel when I get back from Source FM. The live radio show, of course, Monday, 4 p.m. till 6 p.m. Source FM, Source FM 96.1, the sourcefm.co.uk/listen, TuneIn, UK Radio Player, iTunes Radio Directory, and the Radio Garden as well. Thanks for watching. Till next time, stay sharp, stay tuned.